Hello and welcome back to Fallout 76. Today we are going to have a look at the Cosmic Knife. So the Cosmic Knife is right here on page 4 of the season. So it's pretty early. I don't remember the level, but it's 2 pages before this. So this is level 32. So it's before that. So it's pretty early when you can actually get your hands on it. So let's just have a look on the workbench because there are a couple of versions of this depending on what mod you use. So the standard Cosmic Knife, when you craft it, it gives you 50% sneak attack damage, bonus 50% critical damage, and bonus 20% VATS critical charge. So if you play stealth melee in VATS, that would be probably the way you go. I don't ever play that way. I find stealth melee to be kind of slow. If it was more like Fallout 4 where you could target enemies from a distance, I think it would be a little more interesting. But for me, I like to just run around and swing at things. So this is where we're going with this. So this is the superheated mod, and it completely changes the effects on the weapon, which I actually think is really interesting. It gives plus 25% limb damage and reduces the target's damage resistance by 25% for 3 seconds. Now, the effects on this cannot be changed. This is what they are. And I think that turns a lot of people off. They look at it and go, well, I can't modify it, so it's bad. And I've been using this for the past couple days, and I can tell you that is not the case. This weapon is actually quite good. So when you have the superheated mod on it, it gives you fire damage, immediate fire damage when you hit the enemy, and also damage over time. And I actually think visually this looks really good. It doesn't look like any other weapon in the game, so I think it gets bonus points just for that. And I want to point out the damage numbers you see here in the Hit-Boy, that is without food buffs. I'll be applying those in a bit, but this is just without food buffs. I do have Number Cruncher though, so an AP cost of 18, that's adding 36% more damage. So I'm still working out the melee build. I haven't actually played this for the last couple of updates, and there have been a lot of changes since then, so I'm still sorting through that. I have Hack and Slash. The last time I used this, it was actually a chance to trigger and you had to use VATS. That's no longer the case. It just triggers every single time. And the area of effect, though, seems rather small. So it works reasonably well if the enemies are really close and clustered together, but if they're spread out at all, it doesn't do much. So I'm using Martial Artist and Incisor. I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't get reworked with all of the other melee perks. I feel like they could easily each be just 2-point cards instead of 3-point cards. They just take up a lot of space, but they are very useful. Then I have Kneecapper, where melee weapons deal bonus limb damage. And then I have Slugger, which deals bonus damage to crippled targets. And then I do like this perk a lot. Natural Stance, it does reduce incoming stagger by 25%. And I can tell you, this is actually really noticeable. So the only thing under Perception that's going to help me, I have Number Cruncher, I mentioned before, adds damage. And then Tormentor, which does bonus damage to enemies that have crippled limbs. I do have Pyrotechnician. This actually does increase the damage from the fire part of the weapon. Got Adrenaline. When I'm fighting multiple enemies, everyone I kill will increase my damage up to a maximum of 100%. And then I have Bloody Mess. I am not super convinced on this card, but it is only 1 point, so we'll see how that goes. So here are the mutations. I have Twisted Muscles, which gives bonus melee damage and bonus limb damage. Just a note on this, if you are having accuracy issues with your gun, check to see if you have this mutation because it does have a noticeable effect for the negative. Then we have Speed Demon. Obviously, reload speed isn't going to matter here, but faster movement speed is nice. Herd Mentality, bonus to all my specials. Egghead isn't going to come into play here. Carnivore, actually for a melee character, matters a whole lot because the best foods for melee are meat-based foods. And then we have Adrenal Reaction. Works like Adrenaline, but it's 5% versus the 10%. And as far as the foods go, we got 2 that are really important. We have Deathclaw Wellington for extra strength and Tasty Yaguai Roast for extra melee damage. You can see that is a lot, that's a lot more damage. And now if we look at the Pip-Boy, you can see the damage has gone up quite a bit. Now, whether those numbers are accurate or not, I have no idea. It seems like there are quite a few issues with Pip-Boy numbers being just flat out wrong. Oh, and my armor. I am wearing Thorn armor, so that will give a little bit of bleed damage to anybody that I hit. All right, let's go stab some things, see how that goes. But like I said, I've been using this the past couple days. It took me a while to... So you can see that area of effect. It doesn't look like there's bleed damage here, but you can see that area of effect. Just hitting that one almost killed that one. But yeah, I'd heard from quite a few people that this was just not that great. And so it took me a while to get around this. I mean, I've had this unlocked since probably day 1. And yeah, I just heard that's not very good. You can't change the effects. I think too many people honestly get hung up on the fact that you can't change the effects on something, and they just assume that it's bad. And we have quite a few weapons in the game that you can't change the effects on, and they're quite good. You know, something like Gunther's Big Iron or Western Spirit, they happen to be very you know, very good weapons, even though you can't change the effects, but you can see I'm one-shotting everything. And you can see the swing speed. I mean, it's plenty fast. I can't put faster. I think it does have a built-in swing speed bonus though, but it, you know, it swings, I mean, it swings really fast. The damage you can see, obviously these aren't boss enemies, but still, I mean, one hitting a super mutant, not terrible. All right, let's just jump down here into the muck and see about gulpers. I have no idea how, well, let's see, the damage over time is, it's something. There we go. Let's see, one more. Maybe that'll be enough. I don't know. Thing is, waiting for damage over time when you can just keep swinging and kill them, right? I mean, that's my issue with damage over time in Melee is waiting means you're standing close to the enemy and unless you know, unless you have some indicator, and we had a health bar at one point. They gave a really nice indicator of how much of the health was going to be consumed by the damage over time, and we no longer have that. So it's a bit of a guessing game, so it isn't super useful. I just keep swinging away until they're dead. I just think that's a much more sensible approach, rather than swinging, running away, and find out they don't die and you have to go back, or just standing there and waiting, which, that's not practical at all. There's a Robo-Brain. Yeah, one hit on a Robo-Brain. They tend to be fairly tanky. So... do we have a sentry? I was hoping we get a big sentry bot. I think that'd be fun to see how we do against a big old tank, because they are pretty tough. Oh, that one's legendary. Let's take that super important, Assassin's 1-star armor piece. That is not going to put itself in the script machine. All right, let's see. We've got this guy. But yeah, I mean, everything is just... I don't know. Like... I think anyone that thinks this is bad probably hasn't tried it. Like, I don't, maybe if you're comparing it with the top tier, it's not as big, it's not as strong as whatever. Yeah, your Warglaive hits harder, but I mean, if I'm already killing stuff in one hit, who cares? And I'd rather look at a weapon to go, is it good? Rather than, it's not the best, so it's no good. Or you can't change it, so it's no good. This is, I mean, it's obviously a really good weapon. And, I am using food buffs, but I think if you have a melee character, I think food buffs make sense because they just give you so much more damage. We got this one up here, and I don't have a jetpack. I usually run armor with a jetpack, and I switched out of it and forgot to switch back. Snallygasters tend to be a little tougher than your standard enemy. So, and I haven't fought any yet. I mean, I've been using this for a few days, but I definitely haven't run the full range of enemies. Yeah, that one's not two-shot though. Let's try a power attack here. And I don't know if there we go. Yeah, headshot definitely will do a lot more damage. Hard to aim. Let's see, is that okay, so it's still gonna take a couple of shots, whether it's just regular shots or power attacks. But still, 2 shots from my little old knife with a super fast swing speed. I feel like some of those shots missed. They didn't seem to really do much in the way of damage. Yeah, because a full hit takes a lot more. There we go. Yeah, but see, there's a case where it didn't seem like hack and slash was doing much until that very last hit. It looks like it to me, it feels like it triggers when it wants to, not every hit, even though that's what it's supposed to do. Time to take on some tougher targets, and I'm not talking about these run-of-the-mill Mirelurks. We should have some kings. In fact, let's just get everyone out here now. Love the throwing arc. Love the free throwing arc that doesn't need a perk anymore. There we go. Invisible. Not super fair, but yeah, it's all right. Which one was this? I don't remember. I didn't notice the level. All right, let's get the queen out here and see how badly this goes. I expect to get staggered and all kinds of stuff. All right, so against the queen. Definitely, definitely could be hitting harder. Come on, get that stim pack working. But yeah, if I just keep, obviously this isn't the most, at least damage. I mean, the damage numbers are actually okay. She just has a truckload of health, but still gets the job done. And so the other one was level 75, went down pretty easily. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. Just took a lot of swings. All right, so this is the kind of fight. This is why we pack a gun and we have limb damage. So hopefully I can get some hits on her wing and get her to land. Unfortunately, I need some VATS help, but of course I can't get up high. So that's, oh, there she is. So she's just gonna land on her own. So let's see what we could do. Okay, so that's some nice damage there. We can get headshots. Yeah, over 1,000 with a headshot. So yeah, this This is doing pretty good work. There we go. Not a problem. Oh, she had a Scorch Piece Sprain. Great. We got double XP coming up. So that'll help with that. And there you have it, the Cosmic Knife. If you enjoy playing Melee, I would definitely encourage you to use this weapon and not just dismiss it because you can't change the legendary effects. It's obviously very good and it looks really cool. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit one of the buttons and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Thank you very much.